Well, let's tackle this from Bradley Beal's angle. If he had it his way and he got the option to choose between the Miami Heat or the Phoenix Suns, where would Bradley Beal want to go? Where should he go? Again, he's got a lot of leverage with that no trade clause. I look at it from this standpoint. If I'm Bradley Beal, what pressures do I want to deal with? If Bradley Beal joins the Phoenix Suns, immediately there will be immense pressure for this team to win a championship. If you look at it from the standpoint of how Phoenix finished their season, not only this past year, but definitely last year, with them losing to Dallas in such a bad manner, and then turning around this year and losing to Denver. And the way I look at it, that loss to Denver doesn't look as bad today as it did a month and a half ago. The Lakers didn't win a game against Denver. You got to think that the Minnesota Timberwolves got one. Miami only got one. You know, that loss to Denver doesn't look as bad today as it did a month and a half ago. Heck, they were the best team against from a win standpoint against Denver in this past postseason. But Dallas was bad. Losing that 3-2 series lead was bad. And pretty much the only thing that will be left over will most likely be Devin Booker. We'll see what happens here with Chris Paul and or DeAndre Ayton. There will be immense pressure for Bradley Beal to win out the gate if he joins the Phoenix Suns. Now, there will be nights off in the regular season for Brad. He will be able to coast until the postseason, which then the pressure will be times 10. If you look at it from Miami's perspective, obviously they got a lot of structure within their organization. They got some assets which will probably allow for them to keep a couple guys in their rotation after a Bradley Beal trade. You know, Phoenix is going to have to gut the house to get Brad. If you're looking at it from a Miami perspective, Beal can go join Jimmy Butler and Bam, and there'll still be a little left over, a little bit of food left over for tomorrow. It won't be a lot, but it'll still be a little bit. Miami's got some picks. Miami can get a little mixy with their deal. They don't have enough room for Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, and Max Strus any darn way. They were going to have to make some moves any darn way. For Bradley Beal, there won't be pressure out the gate to win big with Miami. Honestly, their guys just fall under the radar. Bam Adebayo sits right between good and star. Jimmy Butler sits right between star and superstar. They literally both are in the perfect spots to avoid high-level criticism at the levels that they are at. And I can argue Bradley Beal kind of falls right in where Jimmy Butler is between star and superstar. Not a lot of high expectations either way, to win or to lose for Bradley Beal, like it is for Jimmy Butler. Now, for Bradley in Miami's case, he's going to have to play. I don't know where he's at in his career. I know he's very invested with his AAU team. One of my partners got to be around Bradley Beal and see him coach recently in my hometown of Memphis. He was with his AAU team, and, you know, you can just see that Bradley Beal really loves them kids, them babies, that next generation of hoop. I don't know where Bradley Beal is at with winning. I have not seen a lot on the court with Bradley Beal winning or wanting to win, because Washington's been irrelevant pretty much his entire career. So we'll see where Bradley Beal stands. With Miami, he's going to have to ball. They don't become the clear-cut favorite to me. Because when I look at Miami, we'll talk about this in another video, I look at Bradley Beal as a guy that if he's not 100% locked in, could make that team a few games worse in the playoffs. So we will see what Bradley Beal decides to do. Again, a lot of this is what he wants to do because of that no trade clause. If he goes to Phoenix, there's pressure out the gate, and there's definitely 10 times the pressure in the postseason. If he goes to Miami, it won't be as loud. You know, obviously they got Messi in Miami now. They've had a lot of success over the last decade. It won't be as impactful, but Bradley Beal will be expected to score. They're going to need him to get over the hump. They needed a playmaker in the conference finals those last few games, and then obviously in the NBA finals. They needed a bucket getter, and Bradley Beal will need to be that guy in Miami. Welcome to NBA offseason 2023. You're in great hands with Hoops FERRO. There's no network behind me. There's no budget behind me. Just straight grind and hoops talk. If you don't want to miss a beat this offseason from trades, free agent signings, and draft talk, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Let's run these numbers up. It's free $99 to show me that you support the grind. Let's go.